What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a little install video for you guys that like to do it yourself. We got a 135. We're doing some pure high flow turbo installs. For those of you that do it in your garage or don't have access to a lift, much like ourselves, since apparently it's impossible to find a new lift around here. So let's get started. Let's see what we're working with. Pretty full house here at the shop. So there's the 135 that we're going to be doing the work to, and we're just going to jack it up, put it on jack stands, and I'm going to show you the process of installing some pure high flows without access to a lift. And we will be using this engine bar here. But before we do that, let's take a look at the turbos we have here. So these are pure high flows, which the customer purchased used but fully rebuilt, remanufactured by Pure. This is the front turbo here. Everything is working fine. The rear turbo, however, as you can see, it's sitting in this box and it has to get shipped back to Pure. For some reason, when they rebuilt it, the wastegate arm is seized on it. So I'm not sure why that is, or why it didn't pass quality control. You know, being Pure, you would expect that not to happen. Unfortunately, that's the second set of turbos from Pure where I've seen that happen. But they got good customer service, so I reached out to them right away. They sent me a return label. I got the rear turbo up in this box here. We're gonna send that to UPS, get that shipped. Here's some of the install parts that we're gonna be putting on that, you know, you actually need to be doing this with each turbo install. So we got new studs. We've got the drain line oil return gasket. These are the gaskets for the turbo drain line, which goes right there. We have our water pipe gasket. I'm still waiting for more of these to come in. They were on back order, so hopefully we'll get those today. We have our turbo gaskets here. These are the other O-rings for all the other cooler oil lines. And then obviously our gaskets for the exhaust to manifold. So we're gonna get this package sent out. We'll come back to the shop and then we'll get started on this, removing the old turbos. And I think we're doing relocated inlets, so I'll show you the process of how we do that as well. But it should be a pretty easy job. We'll be back. Also, I want to give you guys a heads up. We have an insane build coming up. As I've been telling you guys, by the end of this week, we're getting the car dropped off to us. It's a 335 IS and 54, obviously. Here's some of the parts that are going in it. So we got a box from FCP. We're doing an engine build. We're doing head work. We got some B58 coils. We got some carbon pieces. We got an S55 flywheel. So I'm not gonna spill the beans too much on what's going on with this build. Just watch for the video coming out by the end of the week. Once we get the car in, I'm gonna lay out all the pieces, all the parts, and kind of walk you guys through how we're gonna go about doing that build. But it's gonna be an insane, one of the biggest builds I've done, and it's not just a regular build. There's something special going on with this car, so stay tuned for that. All right, guys, so we got the cars all jacked up, 4 jack stands. We're gonna start off by draining the fluids. I'm gonna drain the oil first, take off my plastics for the cowling, remove my fan, and then I'm gonna go underneath, take off my belly pans, drop the intercooler. I'm going to drain the coolant from the vehicle, and then we'll check back and see where we're at after that. All right, so we're gonna start off by taking off our belly pan here, and this is all 8mm. Alright, so got that off. Now I'm gonna grab my 17 and drain the oil from the motor. So here's where we are at so far. Charge pipe is removed. I've got the rear PCV hose disconnected since we're going to be doing relocated inlets. These are coming out. Oil is drained. I'm going to go down there and disconnect the intercooler connections and drop the intercooler. Now, keep in mind, if you're doing this and you're just doing the turbos, you don't have to do all this. I mean, you really don't even need to take the intercooler out or anything. However, I like to remove these items. It just gives me more space all around. Same thing with these support bars that go across from the strut to the firewall. You don't have to remove those. It just gives me more space. It's easier to work on the car. In the end, it's just less frustrating. So I'll go ahead and remove the intercooler so we can drain our coolant, and then we'll be removing our coolant bottle from here. We'll be removing the boost canisters from here. We'll unplug all of our vacuum lines. We'll probably be removing the bracket up here that holds the boost solenoids onto the head, and we'll go from there. here's where we are so far. I've got the plate pulled off that holds the blue solenoids. I've got pretty much all of the top bolts off of the turbos. This outlet pipe is disconnected up front right here. We removed our front inlet since that's getting replaced. I've got the 2 bolts in the back that hold the rear inlet in place disconnected. Charge pipe is out. We've got our intercooler out. All the fluids are drained. And right now, we're going to grab our engine support bar, throw that on, and go underneath and pull off the subframe. And from there, we'll get the exhausts off, get our downpipes off, start pulling our coolant and oil lines off the turbos and pull the turbos off. So we got our also I forgot to mention the bolt and the steering rack are almost completely disconnected right there. And then there's 2 bolts that hold this lower coolant line right there and one right there. There's a third one up here, but that one was not on there, so this is loose. So we should be able to just drop our subframe. Also our line, this lower line for the power steering, and the one going from the rack to the pump is disconnected as well. So we've got our free labor here. He's gonna be doing, what are you gonna do?
I don't know, whatever you tell me to do.
I like that. I think we're gonna do the exhaust and then subframe, so.
Give me the tools, boss.
So do you want me to just do the job for you?
I just want you to give me the tools so I don't have to get back outside.
Oh, okay, because it's hard for you to get the tools.
Okay.
What size Allen does that look like? 13, and I'm gonna go ahead and say 6 or 7.
8?
Are you sure?
Well, you gotta drop the hanger, but she's off.
Are you positive?
What do you mean am I positive? All the bolts are out. Yeah, of course, do that.
Where do you want to drop it? side done. Now we just gotta hit the driver's side. Same thing. And then we'll be ready to pull off the subframe. Bro, shut your goofy ass up, boy. What's up? We gonna run this or what?
Yo, 30 pounds of boost running John Gago himself.
I think this would be a good contender for the Black E90. Stock turbo versus stock turbo.
This would be great. I guess we'll see it on, what is it, the Family Racing channel. Or what is it? What is your YouTube channel again?
Shut your ass up. This thing will get gapped.
Nah, cat.
You and them AC Schnitzer.
Fuck you, nigga.
I must say, out of all the cars you've owned, probably one of the cleanest ones.
Right? This one's pretty clean.
But I'll give it a month.
Give it a month, it'll be macked on a curb on south side.
It'll be flipped upside down just like your other car.
Damn! Side shot.
Alright, we just got subframe to drop. 18 millimeter here, middle, front. Same on the other side. So apparently there's these things called motor mount bolts. And Moose, it's all your fault. I'm just gonna blame you. next step, take off the water pump thermostat, and then from there,
just popping that in there and
remove our oil drain line, front and rear. Start taking off the bolts for these shields. We're gonna take off our outlet pipe, which looks like somebody's been here because usually this bolt is facing towards you, not on top. That's gonna be T30, I believe, or an Allen, I'm not sure what. We'll loosen that off. Front one's already off, so we can pull off the outlet pipe. We'll remove our coolant lines from here. We'll remove these lines, and then we'll remove these two lines. Then we can start pulling off the rest of the manifold nuts off the turbos. Should be good. Alright guys, that's going to be it for part one of this pure turbo upgrade on this 135i. I think all we have left to do, which we'll do tomorrow morning when we come in, is we'll get the coolant and oil lines pulled off of the turbos, and that's really it. Then we can pull off the turbos themselves. So like I said, I'm still waiting for that. That turbo was sent out today to Pure. The rear turbo was sent out to get repaired, so I'm hoping in a couple days that'll be back, and then we can continue the install. But that's it for part one. What else? I don't think we got anything else going on. Yeah, just remember, look out for that video at the end of the week where I'm going to be announcing that huge build that we're doing on that 335 IS. So hope you liked the video. Let me know if you got any questions on the install that we did. I know I kind of just like breezing through it. I'm not really going in depth on every single bolt that needs to get removed. And remember, this is how I do my turbo installs. You can do them however you want. There's certain parts that don't need to be removed, like intercooler, charge pipe. You can leave that on if you're doing it yourself to save time. I just like to get everything out of the way, especially since we're doing relocated inlets. All that stuff's got to come out of the way anyways, so keep that in mind if you're doing that as well. All right, guys, have a good night. We'll see you on part 2 tomorrow.